Mike Rose on the show this hour. Also, we've got Celebrity Name That Tune. What's up for grabs? GNR tickets. 3 Days Grace with Chevelle. WWE tickets. Avenged Sevenfold tickets. Craig Gass will be performing tomorrow night at the Gospel Room inside of Knuckleheads. Now, he's got 2 shows tomorrow night, 2 shows Saturday, 1 show on Sunday. I believe the Friday shows are all but sold out. Saturday's almost and on their way to it. So if you want to go, you're going to want to win them or you're going to want to buy them. If you want to buy them, you want to go to getgas.com now.
Less than 10 tickets left now for the early show on Friday.
Dude, isn't it crazy that we live in this world now where you literally on your phone can watch
you can
all
see
the
it
sales, how is everything happening, where it's going to be, how your phone is going to, It certainly makes the promoters. Now, luckily, you're with Frank and the guys at Knuckleheads who are great, but you did work with Craig Glazier. So, Craig Glazier could have a sold-out room that you would look out from this audience or the stage and see you couldn't put another person in.
Right.
And then be like, listen, we couldn't make any money. Think about it. What are we going to do? And his brother would be like, made you take some nachos. Give him the cheesesteak.
I told Johnny last night the only thing, I was talking to Jesse and to LeJean about how they have people that can argue for them, get in, and maybe even be physically intimidating about the money that's missing.
Sure.
And the only thing I have is psychology. And I bring it up whenever I think I'm dealing with a shady promoter, and because the promoters will always comment on my work ethic. Man, I wish more comedians would get up in the morning and hustle like you do, man. I wish more people would do that.
They do radio. They promote the show.
Yeah, they'll be like, man, you did. Because I usually will do every radio station in town. I'll be a different guest on sports. I'll be a different guest on a top 40 station. I'll be a different guest on a country station. And they'll go, man, I wish more guys were like you, would do all that radio and do all that work. And I'll tell them, yeah, did I tell you about Monday? I didn't tell you about Monday. Monday morning after the shows are over, I'm actually going to call into every radio station in town, and I'm going to just do a wrap up and talk about what it was like working with you. And there is a silence after that sentence. And when it comes time to pay me, the check is like, that looks good. Thank you. And
brilliant.
Monday, I'm not even awake on Monday. I'm sleeping in all day. So.
Yeah. Well, but it is, you guys have to understand out there, it's, when you're in a band, what you've got is a couple of road crew guys. When you go to what they call settle it after the show, because you get a deposit ahead of time, and that means you're going to fly in and do the show. Then once you do the show, they have to pay the remainder. And when you go to make your settle and get it all done, if they get word, you're like, well, then I guess we'll just lock this door and work it on out, right? And when you're a comedian, these sons of bitches know you're most likely by yourself. You're out there and Glazier was legendary for this. Like, everybody would get shorted. It was just a matter of the way it was done. You'd sell out all the rooms, or you'd agree on a number, and whatever it was, at the end, he'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. I'm not going to pay you. And I guess you'll never work here again. And just, he was legend. At one point, we all kicked around the idea of a posthumous show.
Yes. 2
things that happened. He was buried without a tombstone, which bothers me. I don't know why. We weren't even good when he died, but I still, and this is going to sound so weird, in his own way, I loved him. And because I knew him for so long. Like a terrible relative is what he felt like. Because he was in the studios so many times, and he was part of this, and he brought so many great comedians.
I'm just picturing everyone listening to this in Kansas City and listening to you talk like, you know what, but I loved him. I'm just picturing
in a weird way.
Everyone in their cars just shaking their head no, going, nope, Johnny, don't agree.
No, I know, right? I know. Like, you make poor choices in your relationships, John.
Especially comedians. Any comedian that's in Kansas City right now.
But he brought I wouldn't know you if it weren't for him.
Yeah. True.
I mean, all of these friends I made and these moments I had and these great comedians and this great radio, and even to himself, he was such a psycho, he was great radio. So I have affection for that. And that being said, he just had no friends when he died. And he ends up in a graveyard with nothing. I mean,
does he still have nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing.
And so it's always bothered me, honestly. And so I wanted to do, this was the idea, roast the ghost. And have comedians that hadn't gotten paid or shorted come in.
A lot.
And do a show. We'll take the first amount of money and buy just a regular tombstone so he's remembered, and then divide the rest between the comedians that didn't get paid.
Dude.
And
I'm in.
I'm
not joking. That is a brilliant idea. How about this? Make it raise enough money to cover that. Rest of it, fundraiser.
Yeah.
Rest of it, charity.
It's and you know
to help out
and I just
broken women, all the women that were affected.
Herpes research.
Busted ex-strippers.
Buy condoms for prostitutes.
Oh my God!
You can punch me in the mouth.
We miss him.
To advance the science of hair systems.
Dude, but I just thought, God, roast the ghost. And by the way, he would love it. You can
Absolutely.
Anybody can say
attention.
any attention.
Any attention he would love.
It goes all the way back to the lack of attention his father gave him. I mean, all the way back. It's and I got to get your copy of his book, The King of Sting, because it's worth reading.
Yeah,
it's based in truth. Now he never let details get in the way of a good story, but his slant on stuff is always not quite right. But it is all based in truth. Everything he did, he really did. Knock over drug dealers for a time in Los Angeles.
Right, but he would
really
stretch.
did.
He would stretch.
Well, then he tried to tell you he was like working for the feds, and you're like, "Do you mean you're a snitch?"
Right.
That's called being a rat. He's like, "Don't you call me a rat?" I'm like, "Well, I don't have to call you. The world considers the guy who's not a real person on the police force who informs. That's called a snitch and a rat."
The guy who's performing with me this weekend, one of the greatest comedians I've ever seen in my life, James Inman.
That's how I met him.
He's honest to a fault. He can't not be honest. Inman I shared the story the other day that the first time I asked him, would you like to chip in on some cocaine? He said, last time I did cocaine, I pooped my pants. And I went, was anyone there? And he goes, no. And I go, then why are you telling me? Like, he's just an honest person. I remember seeing Inman once, and I said, he goes, hey, I don't know if you know, I got divorced. And I go, oh my God, what happened? He goes, oh, she was banging somebody. And I go, you found out about that? He goes, I watched them. And I was like, oh my God. What the, dude, he told me once that to save that marriage, he told me this honest story. He said, we were trying to save the marriage. And he said, we were trying to enhance our sex life. And we laid out a tarp and put baby oil all over the tarp in our living room. We laid out a tarp in our living room, and I gave my wife a bottle of wine, and oh no, he said he grabbed the bottle of wine. He's totally naked. She's naked. He comes out to give her the wine, slips, hyperextends his knee, breaks his knee on the fall. They both start laughing so hard that he shoots out a little pebble out his butt, and the pebble is floating like a hockey puck in the baby oil between them, and they're just laying there laughing. No sex. No sex at all.